Episode 7, no clickbait, no sponsors, no adverts. It's not for likes, it's not for subscribers. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, but we are giving you everything. You decide how this moves on. We are literally done at this point, and I'll explain why. So it's probably been about 4 or 5 weeks since we last dropped episode 6. And episode 5 and 6, admittedly, we've read it in the comments, we know what you're saying, and admittedly, they were strategic. With the evidence that we have, folders and emails and messages of evidence that we have, phone calls that we've recorded, we cannot put it all out there. There's reasons for that, because if we put it all out there, you, the perpetrator, are watching. We know you're watching, so we can't give you, the person who's got the parts, the information. But now on this episode, we're absolutely gonna just lay it all bare. From all the messages we've had of support, understanding, to the messages of clickbait, sponsored, it's all for likes. We get it, we understand it, bounces off us because we're doing this for one reason, to find the parts. And in this episode, we'll give you all the information. And the reason is there's something happening in the background, and that will lead to we either get the parts or the parts are gone forever. One of the big emails we had was explosive update. I'm just going to literally read it as this person, who obviously knows the other person, wrote it. Firstly, I'm not Paul Rutter, but I'm in the know. I've seen a text message on Mr. Rutter's phone today from the owner, Alistair, to Mr. Rutter, dated 3rd of June 2019 at 7:46 p.m. saying he's back from being abroad. Can he pick the car up for an MOT to be taken to Siston, Leicester? I think that's a Lamborghini Leicester. On Wednesday, the 5th of June 2019, 4:15 p.m, 16:15, Mr. Rutter replied to the owner by text saying the door entry code, as well as padlock code for the outside gate, and also stating the keys would be placed on the near side rear wheel. Fact, the car went for an MOT on Friday, the 7th of June 2019. At Siston in Leicester. It passed its MOT with a mileage of 39,737. Where did the vehicle go after the MOT? Question mark, question mark, question mark. This is 100% factual. Mr. Rutter has no involvement in the disappearance of the vehicle. Y3LOW, Lamborghini Diablo, yellow. MOT expired 8th of December 2020. The vehicle was MOT'd on the 7th of June 2019. The mileage was 39,737. Alistair did pick the car up. Alistair did take it for MOT. Alistair then returned it for MOT. The car went missing a year later. So, Mr. whoever wrote this comment on episode 6, you're 1 year ahead. We know it went for MOT and Alistair took it and the key was left on the near side tyre. So that, sir, friend of Mr. Rutter, is totally debunked. But here comes the bombshell. Everybody on our whiteboard, every single person on our whiteboard is linked through African Gold. Stay tuned. So I've got part emails, I've got part messages and emails on my phone, and I'm just going to go through this again, just give you all the information. You just heard me mention African Gold and you're probably thinking this guy's absolutely nuts. Yes, it's playing out like a Guy Ritchie movie. We've got this guy in Leicester, Paul Rutter. We've got Muhib in Essex and Mohammed and Nav. Then we've got the police involvement everywhere. And then we've got the car wash guy down in Yeovil. They are all linked. And they're all linked in an African gold mine scam. There you go. Those of you in Leicester watching this that are linked, sending me messages. There you go. The reason why we didn't play Paul Rutter's phone call in episode 6 was because all this was happening in the background and everything he said to us on the phone was absolute rubbish. This is an email we've received from an acquaintance of Mr. Rutter. In the meantime, I have watched episode 6 and this information might assist you in providing a worthwhile link between Rutter and Essex. Take a look here. And if I click on this link, it takes me to a web page, gold.com. There's a management team, there's lots of faces, there's lots of names. Rutter is an admitted acquaintance of Mr. N, who is a former director of X that was incorporated at, where at Rutter's own company, Rut 5 Limited, got bank statements there from RUT5 Limited, we'll get onto that, was also incorporated. So this Gold Corporation and RUT5, Paul Rutter's, incorporated in the same place. If you know about how companies are set up in the UK, you'll know that that could be an office, an accountant or something. There could be multiple companies incorporated in one office, one location, normally by an accountant or more normally by using a registered address. According to Gold website, Mr. N has 27 years experience in specialist security, cash and bullion transit. Then we've got links to his appointments with Company's House, and we have further names that are also on that page. There is significant evidence that Rutter enticed individuals to heavily lend, invest cash in alleged gold and caused payments to and from Essex, Kenya, Uganda and Dubai, which includes evidence of directing payments transfers to Nairobi. There is also evidence of Rutter causing payments to be made to Mr. X in respect of alleged gold and discussion about the best Indian restaurant in Harlow. Now, as I say these things, they're going to resound with people because they're going to start realising the links and what's going on here. We haven't mentioned it to this point because we found out before we filmed episode 6 and we were blown away. I'm aware that to entice individuals to part with cash, Rutter would boast an image of wealth and would even offer a Lamborghini as security. However, this will not have been Alistair's car at that particular time. Given Kenya is a cash-dominant country, needless to say, hundreds of thousands of dollars were lost to individuals in various obvious scams, whereafter Rutter denied any loans were made and denied his own signature on loan agreements. Ironically, if you look at page 8 of RUT5 Limited Liquidators, there's further information. I'm not going to read this all out, but I just want to prove to you that we've got everything. How does this play out with our car wash guy in Yeovil? Well, car wash guy is Joe Mugo. Joe Mugo's brother lives in Dagenham, Essex. The car was stripped in a garage between Dagenham and Rayleigh. The parts may still be in that garage between Dagenham and Rayleigh. As I said, the police, the 2 private investigators, have all this information. And they have a little bit more because obviously I'm not going to tell you, the viewer, absolutely everything. I can't. If you don't understand that, you want to go at us in the comments, that's your prerogative, that's cool. Joe Mugo, you made it quite clear that money, the reward, isn't anything to you, and we understand why. The car was stripped in Essex, and the person that stripped it has a very similar build and posture to a person involved in Kenyan gold. Could be a coincidence. It may be that the car was originally going to be shipped to Kenya. Rutter was certainly causing payments to be made in respect of the gold scam, and I know episode 6 suggests a time frame when Alistair's car went, June 2020. At this time, Rutter was in desperate need of money. He had just lost a high court matter in Birmingham and had been ordered to pay costs. And he was also trying to raise cash to pay for legal representation at the High Court in London, July 2020. I can go on and on and on, but I think I've made it quite clear. We've got evidence here that has been passed to the police and the private investigators, and it's now a dash to the finish line. And that's why, as I said it before, no clickbait, no sponsors, it's not for likes, it's about the parts. We want the parts back. Bring the parts back. We will delete all these videos. We will delete episode 1 to 7. We will delete the videos. It's not about views. It's not about sponsors. It's about getting the parts back. It always has been about getting the parts back for Alistair. I've got more evidence. RUT5 Limited. We know from seeing 5 binders full of evidence and 2 folders, acquaintances of Mr. Paul Rutter. We know that he made a transfer on the 3rd of September 2015, so we're going way back, way before the car was gone, £10,500 to, there's a name, Mr. X, which goes from the email, and the reference is Paul Kenya. Another transfer, joint names, £8,000 on the 16th of October 2015, and then £20,000, 15th of April 2016, again to Paul Kenya, all coming out of business account RUT5 Limited. We have the evidence, we've had the evidence for a little while, but come on people, we cannot share all the info to you until we know we're knocking on the door and getting close to the end. More messages, emails from others, acquaintances, ex-friends. Before we go any further, Sam Jones in Yeovil, and everybody in Yeovil, you guys have been amazing helping us. Sam, you were the prime suspect at one of the end of the episodes, we were about to enter your yard, but you turned up and we didn't show that because, as promised to you, we wouldn't show that. And from what everybody said about you and what you know they say about you, just want to say 100% you have nothing to do with this. And as you said for yourself, you wouldn't have a blooming clue what to do with a Diablo 6 litre VT other than rip the engine out and sell that for big bucks. Mr. L was a friend of Paul's that he talked into investing into gold. Mr. L put himself massive financial mess with the gold investment, and at one point Paul was pushing Mr. L to fly out to Uganda to get their money back. Paul got off extremely lightly with the 225k, as he had a lot more that was spent on not only his house but another one too, that all came out of the RUP 5 account. The police have all the evidence, 2 private investigators have all the evidence. You all watching right now know that the parts are in a garage between Dagenham and Rayleigh. Car key solutions, let's cover that quickly. What did they actually do? So many of you in the comments told us how they can rekey keys and make them from the barrel, so they haven't changed the barrel. We knew what they'd done. Bypass the immobiliser, because when he starts the car up, in their words, it was a total loss. They've made new keys for it. Yet they've made new keys from the barrel to the barrel. They have a tool for that. But they bypassed the immobiliser. So when he puts the car on in the video, he hasn't had to put the fob on to start the car up, because they didn't have the immobiliser fob. They only had 2 keys that they'd made. And that's why Alistair's key, when we tried it at Wembley, fitted the barrel. It was still the original key barrel. And we'd figured that out, but again, we couldn't share that yet. Final words from me. If you've got the parts and you want this all over, and we'll remove all the videos. I say this again, it's not about the likes. We will remove all the videos. Take or have the parts delivered to EBC Brakes Northampton. When the parts show up at EBC Brakes Northampton, phone EBC, speak to the receptionist, give us a name, sort code and account number, and we'll transfer £15,000 to that account when all the parts are delivered to EBC Brake Northampton. And this all goes away. The 7 episodes disappear. We've got the parts back at EBC Brakes Northampton. Either that or the 2 private investigators, whichever one of you gets it first, it's £15,000, one of you gets paid. Police, you've got all the evidence, you do your thing. Thank you for watching. You may see us again, you may not. I don't mean that ominously, but I mean, if we get the parts back, we'll carry on. If we don't, this is the last video. Thank you.